freaking first cut. Golly. Welcome to the First Cut Podcast. I'm Rick Gehman, and this is your round 3 recap for this week's Mexico Open. Joining me to break it all down, Patrick McDonald is here. Good day, Patrick.
Hola, Rick. How's your Saturday going?
It's going well. I played golf this morning.
Oh, how do we hit them?
I was very rusty. So I haven't played in a couple of weeks. The front 9 was turbulent. And then I started to play better. I think I shot a 38 on the back, which I think is 3 over 82. But I was kind of all over the place on the front.
Okay. I mean, that's going to happen.
Yeah. Listen, blame it on the time off. How was your Saturday?
It was pretty good. What did I do? I worked out, not a big deal. I went for a walk. It was really nice out. I laid out on my porch and kind of tanned a little bit. UVs were hitting 6. And kind of just relaxed. Did a little work too.
Oh yeah, I guess that does happen sometimes. Well, let's dive into Mexico here, Patrick. And we can talk about the other guys in the field. But Jake Knapp stole the show on Saturday. He followed up his Friday 64 with a Saturday 63 that featured 11 birdies. Yeah, that's right. 11 of them. So do the math. That means he made 4 pars and 3 bogeys to card that 63, went out in 28. I mean, this was impressive stuff.
Yeah, and it got going at the start. Number 1, tapping. Number 2, he was like begging it to go. I'm like, oh, is this guy going to miss the green short? And he misses the pin by 4 feet short. And then he just kept it going on the front. And what really impresses me, Rick, is it looks like he's just in cruise control, hitting those 80%ers the entire time. His swing does not look like a $185. It looks like 70, 75. And he just absolutely pounds the ball. Unlike the first 2 days, I wasn't following too closely the last 2 days since I was off, but I was looking at the numbers. And the ball striking, I'm sure you guys talked about it, was banana land. And he kind of talked on it last night that he put in some work on the greens overnight. And you saw it there early. I think in his first 12 holes, he didn't miss a putt inside 12 feet. And it kind of made up for some around the green deficiencies, I'd say, that got him on the backside. But the front 9 was just target practice.
Yeah, I mean, just looking at this week statistically, he is first in the field in driving distance, 328 yards. And yes, you're right. It looks like he's almost doing a drill on the range instead of just cutting it loose. So he's first in the field in distance this week. He is 3rd in accuracy. So that's a good combination. You added up, you're 3rd in strokes gained off the tee. He's gained over 9 strokes on approach through 3 rounds. You talk about the work that he put in with the flat stick on Saturday in round 3. He gained 4 strokes with the putter. That was the best in the field. I mean, the stats bear out a guy who is running away with the golf tournament, and he kind of is.
He is, but he did not slam the door shut on this golf tournament, I don't think. And for as well as he hit it on the front 9, it kind of felt like this 63, a great score, was kind of disappointing, right? I mean, after he makes a bogey from the trench left on number 10, a great bogey, and he comes back with back-to-back birdies. It's like, all right, he's just going to keep on doing this. But man, his chipping is not good.
It's bad. Now it is
not good.
It doesn't show up when you just stuff everything to 15 feet. You don't have to chip very much, but it was the few times that he had to lean into that on Saturday, it was not good.
Yeah, so I think he missed out on 2 things. One, maybe a 61 or a 60 potentially, and 2, really slamming the door shut on this tournament, because there is one guy who still has a chance. I know there's only 3 other guys who are within 7. But I mean, we saw just last week how weird things can get on Sunday. And that was with a guy like Patrick Cantlay and Xander Schauffele. And no offense to Jake Knapp, he's not quite on that level. So if he continues to strike the ball like this, like you said, Rick, around the green game, it probably won't matter too much. But if it regresses to, normal human Jake Knapp, there's a chance this thing could get a little weird tomorrow.
Yeah, it is. It is kind of interesting because he's 4 shots clear of Valimaki, who is 3 shots clear of everybody else. I almost feel bad for Sammy here. So Knapp has a 7-shot lead over the guys in 3rd place, thanks to the week that he has put together thus far. Let's talk about Sammy here. So 64, 67, 67. Josh and I were talking before we went hot. He enters the final round tied the 3rd round tied with Jake Knapp. He makes 4 birdies and goes out in 31, and he has lost 3 shots to Jake Knapp.
Dude, this guy looks like a classic golfer from the 1980s. Like, you look at Jake Knapp and they're just gushing over him. They're like, oh, he spends a lot of time in the gym and it's really paying dividends with these booming drives. And then I don't know who tweeted it. It might have been Kenny Kim. I'm not sure if you know him. And he just goes, Sami Valimaki looks like he never turns down a sandwich. I audibly laughed out loud. But it was a really nice start, and I think it's tough to enter the weekend with the lead, tied for the lead, see someone go crazy, and to kind of keep your head down and keep going to work and not get ahead of yourself like someone like Matt Wallace probably did a little bit. And I know the back nine wasn't super great, just 2 birdies and 2 bogeys, but he kept himself in this golf tournament, and he's in the final pair where, like I said, anything can really happen.
This is another example of how hard it is to win a golf tournament. I mean, he's lapping the rest of the field. If Jake Knapp didn't exist, he'd be 3 shots clear of everybody else. 3 shots probably converts, 60% of the time. And that gap is smaller than the gap that he has to get to first. You play, this is a ceiling Sammy week, at least through 54, and you are getting smashed by the Jake Knapp buzzsaw.
Yeah, you just run into a ball striking week that you dream of from Jake Knapp. And I think the one thing Sammy does have going for him going into tomorrow is his irons kind of turned a corner today. He hit them very well, and he's been putting great all week, where Knapp, he's putt poorly twice and kind of had it rolling today. So I think the one thing tomorrow is, we always say it, can you follow up a good round with another one? We kind of saw it in this tournament last year when Jon Rahm shot, 10 under on Saturday or something like that to get within a couple of feet now, and he struggled that Sunday. So we see it a bunch. It'll just be interesting to see.
We are going to continue this conversation. We'll talk about the rest of the chase pack. We'll hit some notables, and we'll update the betting odds. Spoiler alert, Jake Knapp is the favorite to win in Mexico. But first, we're going to take a quick break and hear a word from our partners.
The madness doesn't just happen.
Yo, get ready!
And although it's marked on our calendars each year, it's built by moments of mayhem before.
And the crowd goes crazy!
And it begins to bubble long before it bursts. Sure, madness and March may go hand in hand, but it starts right here.
And we're back. Heck of a logjam from T3 on. 3 golfers at 12 under par: Ben Silverman, Henrik Norlander, Chan Kim. Another 4 at 11 under. That's McIntyre, Lauer, EVR, Matt Wallace. Another 3 at 10 under: Bramlett, Grillo, Novak. And then a bunch of guys at 9. I mean, this is there's going to be a lot of jockeying for money, for points, for status. I mean, we're already seeing next week the cognizant field, guys with like full-time PGA tour status are not getting in to some of these events. Like, there's a lot to play for, obviously, outside of just first here.
You didn't even mention the Aon Swing 5. Come on, activate the partnership with the PGA Tour, Rick. Come on. It's a hell of a second flight. A hell of a second flight. The championship flight looks like it could be finished. First flight looks like it could be finished. But the second flight, my God, those 4 to 8 handicaps, Rick, they've got a lot to play for. And like you said, it's a logjam, and it's a lot of crazy names. Just Insane name. Ben Silverman. Don't know a ton about him, truthfully. Robert McIntyre. He's been horrible so far this year. Ton of success on the DP World Tour, obviously. Hasn't really translated so far. He's there. EVR, a winner in Mexico, similar course. And my personal favorite, who I think might have a say in this tournament, Rick. One Mr. Chan Kim. Watch out for Kimmy.
Well, I don't know what he's gonna say, but it's not gonna be a say in this tournament.
Podium, solo podium.
Okay, maybe a solo podium. Ben Silverman shot the round of the day. Ben Silverman has one bullet point on his official PGA Tour bio page, just one. Jake Knapp's got like 8. Now it does go through his work history as a bouncer, but Ben Silverman has 1, and it says as follows: still a great ice hockey player. That's how it starts. Still a great ice hockey player. Played hockey competitively until he was about 15, played various sports in high school, including baseball, basketball, ultimate frisbee, and cross-country running. Did not decide to be a professional golfer until age 16. He shot 118 in his first Canadian Junior Golf Association tournament. There's a lot to unwrap there, Patrick, but I like the idea that you can just decide to become a professional golfer.
This sounds like the longest bullet point in history. That could have been like 4. And he just had 1. But I mean, classic Canadian Ben Silverman, tying it all back to hockey. He probably could have been out there with Sid the Kid, some of the greats from the Great White North, but instead, like you said, he decided to go to the golf course, play on the grass, and look, like I don't know a ton about Ben Silverman. That's on me, maybe not, but I'm going to take it on the chin. And it was a great round. And he's one of those guys who the top 10 finish gets him into next week. So the log jam, like he's T3 now, but the log jam, a couple bogeys tomorrow are going to be really meaningful. And a couple guys are going to make bogeys. And hopefully it's not Silverman. Hopefully it's someone who already has status for all we know. But like you said earlier, there is still a lot to play for these guys.
The 2 biggest names, that's generous, who are inside that log jam are the 2 that struggled the most on Saturday, Patrick. EVR, Erik van Rooyen, shot a 1 under 70, and Matt Wallace shot an even par 71. They dropped in positions on the leaderboard. Neither of these 2 could really get much momentum going.
There were 4 leaders at the halfway point, right? Knapp, Wallace, Valimaki, and Ortiz, I guess.
Ortiz, EVR, I think, led after Thursday's round.
Okay, gotcha. Because they said some stat at the end of the broadcast saying the other 3 leaders were like 1 over. And I was like, who the hell shot like 5 over or something?
Ortiz was 2 over. Wallace was even. Valimaki was 4 under. So that's...
Okay, 2 under.
2 under.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, it's a very nice descriptor, I guess, for EVR and Matt Wallace. I kind of expected more from Matt Wallace today, to tell you the truth. He's a guy who's won on the DP World Tour. He's a guy who has won on the PGA Tour, probably in like a similar strength of field event in Corrales.
That's correct.
And so you see him with an opening birdie. He like runs that one in. You're like, okay, he kind of means business, but just a really sloppy day. Not enough fireworks, not enough birdies. And it was just chef's kiss to have him on the walk and talk, hitting one in the water. You got Bones and everyone like, yeah, you know, he's known to get a little hot under the collar there. And him kind of just biting his tongue. But kudos to him. He put the earpiece back in. He talked through all the shots. And, yeah, I mean, he'll have a great night to finish top 5 tomorrow.
I did not see every single one of the shots that he hit, but I thought for like the first 12 holes, he played a lot better and he was just burning the edge on some putts. He, was giving himself opportunities. Then it got a little loose. It got a little loose coming in, and then you don't even birdie 18. So he played He played the par fives on the back nine at 1 over, and he played all of them in aggregate today. 1 over, like no matter what else you do, that's not going to get it done.
Yeah, that's probably 4 strokes, 5 if you have a great day, and if you put him, say it's 4 strokes, he's right there with Valimaki at 15 under.
Birdie the fives, Matt. Birdie the fives. Okay, real quick. Let me just hit one more notable before we get out of here. I'll just mention Emiliano Grillo, who was, one of the favorites coming into this event, shot a 67. He's 10 under. He's in a tie for 10th. Tony Finau, who was the heavy favorite before the tournament started, shot a 69. It was his second 69 of the week. He too, Patrick, was a little bit sloppy on the fives on the back. He played those at 1 over. Finau is just like 3 swings away from being in this thing.
I've got news on Tony Finau.
Oh, breaking news.
I was searching through Getty today. It was a pretty boring day.
Yeah.
The toe of the putter is touching the ground.
Thank God.
It is touching the ground. One small step. I don't know that quote off the top of my head.
Toe for man. One large toe for mankind.
Exact. One large leap for Tony Finau's game. And so, I mean, he's like a little positive this week. And that's probably a combination of the toe and getting off Poana. So
yes. Next week will be, so we've been on nothing but Poana. There you go, Josh, with the quick.
That's so different.
Yeah. I mean, that is so different than what we have seen from him in recent weeks. Next week, for the first time, we've only been on Poana and Paspalum so far, right? So we're finally going to get back to Bermuda.
One big tone for mankind. Moose, that's on me. That's horrible.
See,
that's a neck.
This is why Musso gets paid the big bucks right there.
Yeah. I mean, he's long, tan, and handsome.
That's why he's
look at that picture.
Anchor. Yeah, for sure. So good. One big tone for mankind. Oh boy. All right, Josh, hit me with the board. I imagine we're going to see one Jake Knapp's name at the top in yellow. There it is. Minus 400 for those just checking in. If you think Jake Knapp is going to win this golf tournament, they're going to ask you to put down $400 to win $100. That means he is the heavy favorite. Sami Valimaki, 5.5 to 1. How about this, Patrick? After those two, Knapp at 19 under, Sami at 15 under, the next shortest odds that you can get on anybody in this field, Chan Kim at 50 to 1.
So I do a show with Sportsline every week. Yeah.
Great name.
Sure. And it's fine.
Well, I'll be sure to let the Sportsline producers know that you don't like the name.
It's fine, but they put out a social clip this week of me predicting Chan Kim would win this golf tournament. Wow. And so I'm invested in Knapp and Kim. So your winner of the 2024 Mexico Open is none other than Sammin Valimaki. He's going to win this golf tournament. Oh, man. I know. I'm bummed too.
I want to see. I guess I'd like to see Jake Knapp win this, but I would like to see. No offense, Jake. Just make an early double. Let's get this thing juiced up. Let's go like 19 wide heading to the turn.
I will say the one thing about his swing is it looks very time reliant.
Oh, so if he loses the timing, it's over.
It like you saw it when he opened it up today on some of the par fives where he got too quick, and he even on 10 and 10 and the par 5 he made bogey and he lost it left. He kind of took the backswing all the way to the top. You saw it, he got a little quick there and he had the hooks going. So if the tempo's off a little bit, I think it could get interesting. I hope it doesn't, but
if you were Jake Knapp's caddy, girlfriend, best friend, whoever the last voice he hears tonight is, what would you say to Jake Knapp?
Like good night, probably.
Yeah, that's probably good.
What would I say to Jake Knapp tonight? I would say, hey, man, keep that 80%, 320 down the middle. That is your best friend tomorrow. No need to get crazy. You shoot 67, you definitely win this golf tournament. Play the par 5 as well, like you said.
I mean, I don't think he even needs to shoot a 67.
What's that? 4 under, and he's 4 clear.
Yeah.
So 8 under from Valimaki. That's what he shot today.
To tie.
Yeah.
I'll take
Yep.
2 under. Okay. Anything else, Patrick?
I got nothing, man. This was who's on tomorrow's show? Is it us and do we get Mark? And I think Kyle's off.
I'm not sure.
Okay.
Mark
Okay.
and Greg.
It's a party. We
Patrick.
don't normally get that.
Wow, Patrick, Mark, and Greg. That's like the full spectrum of opinions I could have.
You get a little bit of everything, I think.
Yeah.
Greg's been keeping me in my place a little bit with you gone last week.
We're gonna need more of that because I think I'm gonna be on the road a bit next week too. So sorry about that.
Damn.
You're a great host.
Damn, so am I. What are the odds?
All right. Might be Greg hosting. We'll talk about that. Now, do you have any Saturday night plans? We talked about your Saturday morning.
No, I went out last night. That's probably why I'm not as energetic as usual. Went to a dessert bar late, got some gelato. It was electric.
What is it?
And, it's just a bar that serves like a lot of cake. I got a red velvet cake in the fridge waiting for me. I might watch Oppenheimer tonight though. It's on streaming.
Have you already seen it?
No, I thought about watching it on my plane ride to Phoenix, but I've heard of some particular scenes that might not be kid friendly, and I didn't want that on my screen on the plane.
Well, it's very sweet of you because we know how you usually accost the flight attendants and everybody else who might get in your way on a flight. But I don't think you should ever watch any movie you're seeing for the first time that you want to pay attention to on a plane.
What do you mean? That's like the best time to pay attention because you don't have your phone or anything.
Yeah,
or
but
distractions.
Loud. There's a lot. Like you have to like read the subtitles. It's screen's this big.
I always subtitle it anyways. I'm used to that.
Dude.
I did watch one movie on the way back from where was I? Florida. I cried. It was intense.
What was it?
It was a rom-com. It was About Time with Rachel McAdams. Margot Robbie. It's like one of her first movies. She was in it. It was pretty good. Luckily, I had the row to myself, so I don't think anyone saw it. But there were a few tears shed.
Wow. Okay. We're learning about Patrick tonight.
I got a sensitive side.
I will say that there is one scene, the scene in The Rookie, you know, The Rookie where, what's that actor's name who plays baseball and he's like an old guy?
Greg Maddux.
No.
The Rookie. Oh, Kevin Costner?
No.
Dennis Quaid.
Dennis Quaid. Thank you. When he has to call home and say that he made the big leagues, he got the call, that gets me a little choked up every time.
Okay.
Yeah. That's a good one.
Okay.
The way he delivered
that
gets me.
I like that one.
All right. That'll do it. We are done for the night. Big thanks to producer Josh, does all the hard work behind the scenes. That right there, Patrick McDonald. You can find him at P McDonald CBS. You can find me at Rick Run Good. This has been The First Cut. We'll catch you next time.